Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Samast Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Balam Balavatam Kamaraga Vivarjitam Dharma Viruddho Bhuteshu Kamosmi Bharatarshava. This is verse 11. We begin from here today. He says, अपनी विभूतियां बता रहे हैं and how he is the essential factor in all beings. For all beings to exist, for anything at all to exist, he is the essential factor. So Arjun must be, he is not reacting, he is a little impervious, he just doesn't know what he's hearing. So just to come a little closer to Arjun, the example he gives is of Bala, because Arjun बहुत बलवान था, वीर था, बलवान था. तो he is saying कि मैं बलवताम अस्मि, बलम बलवताम अस्मि, means that बलवानों का मैं बल हूं. That means without me, you will not even be balwan. वो अर्जुन को कह रहे हैं. तो see the translation of the strong, I am the strength, devoid of desire and attachment. This is important. This is very important. So remember this. You can underline it if you like, that of the strong, I am the strength, he says, devoid of desire and attachment. And then, and in all beings, I am desire. But that also is qualified. Qualified, unopposed to dharma. He is desire. He is himself calm. But what? Unopposed to dharma. O best among the Bharatas. He calls him Bharatarshabha. I had told you before also, just to refresh the memory and also to those who are listening for the first time. This is Bharatarshabha is a sandhi of two words. Bharata, Rishabh. Rishabh is Baal. Baal ko kehte hain. So you say, okay, so he's calling him bull. He's calling him bull of Bharatvarsh. No, try to understand the context behind the word Rishabh. A bullock is one who eats only dry straw. So he takes the minimum for himself and puts out the maximum effort. Okay? He is the one who works for society, and India was an agricultural country, so bull or cow and all is very important. Even today it is an agricultural country. So bullock and cow were very important animals in agriculture. Bullock used to eat only dry straw and give out so much of hard work and strength with effort. And so he was praised. So in India, when you call somebody a cow, in Hindi, when you say ye bahut gaye hai, means this person is very somber, quiet, not hurting anybody, always giving out from the body for the welfare of the society and feeding the children in the society. That is why they used to say gaye. Even when they say Rishabh, Rishabh also is somebody who serves the society maximum and takes for himself minimum. Okay, so this is a compliment to Arjun, Bharatarshabha. And he says, of the strong, I am the strength, devoid of desire. Because otherwise you become weak. Even the strength becomes weak. Dekho, I'll give you example. First example, what comprises of strength and what comprises of weakness. Now, Dhritarashtra, the king Dhritarashtra, was a king and he was a strong man, but he became very weak and ineffective, isn't it? Redundant almost. How? Because of his attachment to his son. So he says, Kam raga vivarjita. काम एंड राग. हाँ, देखो, काम और राग जो हैं ये दो चीजें हैं. काम इज डिजायर एंड राग इज अटैचमेंट. मेनी पीपल कंफ्यूज देम एज वन. जैसे काम और राग एक ही चीज है, ऐसा नहीं है. सी, काम, Shankara has clarified it. Calm is the desire for that which you do not possess. That is kamana. आपके पास है नहीं, you want it. You want it, you desire it. That is calm. And rag is the attachment and the possessiveness of what you already possess. Something that you already have. Usse rag hota hai, attachment. And calm is for that which you do not have. I hope I'm clear. So that, so he says that you can only be strong if you are minus these two things. If you are minus calm and minus rag, then the strength comes. Most of the people today, they oppose this. They say, no, only when you desire, you have the strength to fight. Only when, but look what happens is that when you are full of desire or full of attachment, you become weak. You cannot put in strength that way. Now, another example is a soldier. Soldier is full of strength, ready to fight. Suddenly he discovers his brother, his long lost brother, standing in the opposition, in the opposite army. Do you think he will have the strength to shoot? He will not, because of attachment to his brother. Similarly, a doctor. Third example, a doctor cannot operate on his own family. When a doctor is operating on his own son, his wife, his daughter, his hand will shake. That is the reason that even a very good surgeon is not supposed to operate on his own family or his loved ones. Right? Because his hand shakes, he will become weak. He loses confidence to do the job correctly because he is so over anxious to do it correctly. So understand, bala balavatam asmi, kam raga vivarjitam. Minus calm and rag, I am the strength of the strong. And then he says, Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. And he says, I am desire, kama. Dekho, anything that the Lord is very strong. It is something which you can't win over. Okay? Now, here he calls himself Kama, that is the Kama Vasana, the reproductive urge in people. And that urge is so strong. We have seen it in many times. When people are in love, try to counsel them, try to tell them not to marry this person or that person, the marriage will be a disaster. All that, no matter what you say, they will not listen, isn't it? Because they are under the compelling force of karma. A teenager in love, don't people wonder what they see in that person? How can they be in love with? No matter what you tell them, they will not listen to you. So it is just this, that the Lord says, I myself am calm. But how? Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. That means he says, देखो क्या बोल रहे हैं वो? He says, unopposed to dharma, I owe best among the Bharatas. That means if the desire is prompted by dharma, by noble attitudes, by not harming the society in any way, that by not harming individuals or families in any way, that desire am I, he says. Unopposed to dharma. That means along with dharma. So when a desire is prompted by dharma, then that desire I am. So Acha, then these two sources, Kam and Balam, they are very, very powerful, very strong. Don't think that the Lord is being egoistic in all these examples that he is giving and all these vibhutis that he is talking about. He is not being egoistic. Anything that makes you rise to your dignified self, it makes you evolve to your nobler self, it makes you evolve to perfection. That is with dharma. Anything which degrades you, even makes you lose your own self respect, that what I am doing is not right, this is adharma that I am doing, that thing you will be weak, and that you cannot classify as the prompting of the Lord. That is your own vasana pulling you down. And you must see, the main thing is that all desires are not unrighteous. That is what the Lord is saying, that desire is prompted by me, but it has to be a dharmic desire. It has to be noble desire. So you must understand your own weaknesses, and honestly you should analyze yourself. And when you analyze yourself and understand your own weakness, don't do things that are adharmic. If your desire is dharma sanctioned, then it will be very powerful and very beneficial to you. The desire will be. So, vasanas, everybody has vasanas, everybody has desires, but then sublimate the desire. You know, you exhaust your desire, but it should be done in a most noble fashion, dharmic fashion, and along sanctioned by dharma, sanctioned by the shastras, sanctioned by everything. When you exhaust that kind of desire, then it is dharmic, and it is the Lord Himself playing through you. The Lord wants His world to exist. That is why He has given you that desire to produce more people like you. So it is a very pious desire. It is a worshipful thing. Hinduism even has temples based on karma, because the Lord Himself has said that I myself am karma. Right? So it is worshipped in Hinduism. All this hoo-ha about sex or hoo-ha about has come from the West or come from other cultures. It was never in Hinduism. Hinduism is very open about it. Even Hinduism is the only religion which has a full science, ancient, technically sound science of sexual desire. Kama Shastra. It is called a Shastra, instruction manual. So we have never done hoo-ha about it, So like that. Now come to verse 12. ये चैव सात्विका भावाः राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मये. Whatever beings and objects that are pure, active, and inert, know them to proceed from me. Yet I am not in them, they are in me. Now, see this last sentence. I am not in them, they are in me. The first he says, whatever beings and objects, that means with life and without life, living and inert, that are there in the world, are in these three categories: pure, active, and inert. These three categories are of your desires, of your vasanas, your thoughts. As your desires, so your thoughts. And as your thoughts, so your actions. Again, I'm repeating. As your desires, so will be your thought texture. And your thought texture will determine your actions. And actions and thoughts combined make the personality of man. So basically, whatever are your desires will be your personality, because those will be your thoughts, those will be your speech, and that will be your action also. Thought, then speech, then action. This is the ladder. And it is all conditioned by your own desires. So look what he says. The desires are of three kinds. One is pure, that is called sattvic. The other are active. Some people are just active and very action oriented. So those desires are called rajas in Vedanta. And the third one are the inert. Inert means inactive, totally inactive, and they are called tamas. So all of us are a combination of these three kind of thoughts, isn't it? You have seen in your own life many times, your thoughts are very noble, thoughts are peaceful, they are sublime, thoughts of helping society, thoughts of serving the society are there in everybody sometime or the other. That is the sattvic part. Okay, but all thoughts are not like that. Many times you run after things to get, to possess, to acquire. That is all rajas. I want to see, I want to hear, I want to go here, I want to see that, I want to do that, I want to eat this, I want to dress this, I want to buy this, isn't it? That is all rajas. So some people are sattva predominant, some people's thoughts are rajas predominant. The third one is the tamas, that is inert. We all go to sleep, isn't it? After a heavy meal, we all feel sluggish, isn't it? Many times we are full of activity, and many times we don't feel up to it, and you are sluggish. Huh? You want to lie down, you want to slouch in your chair, and all that. So that is tamas. You are under the influence of tamas. All human beings are the influence of these three gunas, which are the gunas of nature, prakriti. They are all there in a human being. They are all there in everybody, right? But he says that all this proceeds from me. That means I am the originator. Without me, you cannot have thoughts. You can neither have actions. Think about it. Without that power of the life force, will your thoughts arise in your mind? No dead man has ideas. No dead man has thoughts of any kind. Can there be any actions? No, there cannot be any actions either. And can a dead man sleep? No, he doesn't. He sleeps forever, that is different. Minus consciousness. When he sleeps in that way, then there is no heartbeat, there is no breath either, and there are no functions in the body either, right? So inactivity total is the signature of death on life. That is, so he says that when you are active, in any form active, which you are throughout your life, even while deep sleeping, there is action in your body. So they all exist from me, and without me they cannot exist. Okay, so far so good, huh? These are the three kinds of thoughts. But over here, what is interesting, which reads like a riddle almost, is this last line. Yet they proceed from me, he says, yet I am not in them, they are in me. अब देखो, आप ये कहोगे कि how can that be possible? Huh? It is something like this, that if I am in something, that something is definitely in me. And if that thing is in me, then I am also mixed with that. That is what you will say. But here it is a different picture. See, I will explain it to you this way, carefully. When you see an ocean, and the ocean says that the drop of water, a drop of water from the ocean is in me, but I am not in the drop. Ocean is not in the drop. The drop is in the ocean. Similarly, a pot. If mud says that the pot is in me, right? I am not in the pot. Third thing, ye dekho, the post and the ghost. You see a ghost on the post. You say, the post is saying, I am not in the ghost is in me. Now, in all these three examples that I gave you, try to understand, ocean exists even if the drop does not exist. The ocean will be there, isn't it? Similarly, the post will exist even whether the ghost is there or the ghost is not there, right? Then the mud will exist whether the pot is there or the pot is not there. So these ocean, I gave you three examples, the ocean, the mud, as well as the post. These three exist without the existence of the pot or the drop or the third was the ghost. But they cannot be there without these three. Clear? The drop of water cannot be without the ocean. The mud pot cannot be without the mud. And the ghost that you see on the post cannot be there without the post being there. All these three are superimpositions by your own mind. Your mind superimposes the shape on the mud. Your mind superimposes the shape of the drop in the ocean. Your mind superimposes the ghost that you see on the post. So they, for their existence, the substratum has to be there. And that substratum is the Lord Himself. So though He generates those things, without them, they have no existence. But they are, He says, they are in me, I am not in them. Got it? Another example I'll give you. The perfect Vedantic example of the snake and the rope. Yeah. If the rope says the snake is in me, but I am not in the snake, think carefully. The snake cannot exist without the rope. Its existence is because the rope is there lying on the ground in a zigzag fashion. But the rope is not the snake. So the mere existence of the snake is because of the rope. So the snake is in the rope, but the rope is not in the snake. The rope is a rope, it is not a snake. And the snake can't exist without the rope. So it is like that. I don't know if I have made myself clear. That's why I gave these three examples to make you understand. So it is the delusion of the mind that causes the other things. The essential factor is the mud. The essential factor is the ocean. The essential factor is the post. The non-essentials are the temporary shape of the drop of water, the temporary shape of the mud pot, and also the temporary imposition of the ghost on the post. Now, see, now the matter depends entirely on this divine spark of consciousness in you. Otherwise, matter has no existence. No existence at all. It is only you feel that matter and spirit are muddied together, but that is not so. It is just an imposition of your mind. The mind itself dances, but you don't accompany it. Why do you see the ghost on the post? You drop it, get out of it, And even if the mind is dancing, let it dance. It will get bored and it will drop the imposition itself. Let's come to the next verse. त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावै एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्. Deluded by these natures, that means states or things, composed of the three gunas of Prakriti, all this world knows me not as immutable and distinct from them. So, see, any intelligent person is going to ask this question, that if this pure consciousness is such an important thing and without which nothing exists and nothing can hold itself, nothing can be seen or heard or felt or anything, how come we don't know it? How come none of us see it? And how come none of us know it? It is such an important thing. So then, if we can see everything else, how come we don't see this? You know? So, देखो ऐसा होता है, all the rest is the ghost on the post. If you are seeing the ghost, do you see the post? No. If you are seeing a mud shape, a mud pot, okay, that's a shape. You are seeing the mud pot. At that time, do you see the mud in it? No. You are only concentrating on the pot and the shape of the pot. Something that is very obvious is that it is mud, but you don't see the mud. Hey, ya nahi? Huh? So similarly, this thing also, that you will either see the post or you will see the ghost. If you are seeing the ghost, you are seeing its nose, its half-wicked smile, its tangled hair and its hard eyes, then you cannot see the post. But once you have seen the post, there cannot be any ghost. Neither his cloak in which he has wrapped himself, nor the dagger with which he has come. You were seeing all that. But once, एक बार बस आपको post दिख जाए कि oh, this was a post, then the ghost disappears, isn't it? The ghost is totally gone. The same thing is with the snake and the rope. Once you see the rope, the snake totally vanishes. It cannot be that, I know that this is a rope, but I still see the tongue of the snake. That is not possible. It cannot happen. So it is either or. And that is the reason you cannot see these. See, deluded by these natures. Human being is deluded. He is seeing an imposition. You are seeing something created by your own mind. Each one of us, our world is created by our own mind, and we cling to it like anything. We cling to it like anything, like you are holding a gold brick, a hot gold brick, and complaining to the teacher that I'm getting burnt, I'm getting burnt. The teacher is again and again saying, drop it, drop it. And you say, how can I drop it? But it's a gold brick. The teacher is saying, okay, then suffer. Suffer. No, you don't want to suffer also. Your hands are burning, but you are not able to drop it. So this is what happens with delusion. Delusion, you are so immersed into that you do not see the reality. The teacher is again and again trying to pull you out of the delusion, but you continue to be in the delusion and suffer. So if you cannot see the reality, you are bound to suffer. And little things in life will go on and on, making you suffer. The wave dies, the ocean does not die. The ghost on the post vanishes, but the post remains. The snake on the rope disappears once you see the rope, but the rope always is there. That is the reality. And because there is so much of delusive power of your mind, you do not see the reality, which is the important factor in all things in the world. He says, in the living, in the inert, in the moving, in the non moving, in the alive, in what you call dead wood, he is there, but you do not see him at all. Hmm? So, this is the question it was, that how is it that we do not see it? And the thing is that, the higher is something which you is covered by, is veiled by ignorance of the higher. When the teacher gives you the knowledge of the higher, he makes you conscious of the higher, then you begin to see it clearly. And once you see it, the delusion is gone. The teacher has already liberated you. There were no shackles. You were only imagining shackles. So it is not that he has broken your chains. There were no chains. You imagined yourself as bound by so many things, and that is how you lived. Hmm? So that is all for today. We do just this much, and we'll do the next verse 14 next time. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.